Hey kids, Scooter coming to you live from the dark and dismal dungeon of the Granville Guitars World Headquarters here in lovely St. Petersburg, Florida. Got another of our friend Rob Barrett's custom guitars on the bench today. By the way, it's August 31st, 2021. It's a Tuesday. And this is what Rob sees on stage. Just to give you an idea, I've got all of the lights dimmed so that you can see these righteous LEDs. I mean, you can read a book by these things. It's truly crazy. Let's turn some lights on. There we go. All right. Now we can see what we've got here. This is, you've been a fan of Cannibal for a while. You've probably seen Rob playing this thing. It's gotten an awful lot of studio use, particularly for the lower tuning that the band uses, which is the G sharp tuning. This is a gray USA Dean Cadillac custom guitar that he uses all the time. Excuse me. And this bad boy uses big old strings. This one gets a 14 through 56 set of D'Addario NYXLs. And basically what we do is we buy a 7-string set and just pitch the top 11 string, which is normally the highest string on a 7, and we use the lower 6 strings of a 7-string set. So as you can see, we've got the Fishman Fluence pickups in here, which he's using on a number of guitars and enjoying very much. Stock bridge and tailpiece. I have not yet put the tape on here. I just realized that. As with the Les Paul, which you saw in the previous video, we're going to put a piece of pickup coil tape right across here, and that just dampens the strings behind the bridge and also behind the nut. To keep unwanted ghost noises or overtones out of the mix. When you're playing as crunchy and distorted as Cannibal Corpse plays, the slightest little thing ringing out or causing an issue tonally can really drive people crazy, particularly Eric the Viking, Eric Rutan, who has an absolute golden ear. If you did not know, that's something that you now know about Eric. Eric has a golden ear. He cannot be fooled. He hears everything, which is why he's such a gifted producer, in my opinion. So things like that can really drive him to distraction. So that's why Rob has me put that tape behind the nut and also behind the saddle. You can see on this guitar, it's a mahogany body. I believe it's all mahogany, and it has an ebony fretboard with the fetus skeletons inlaid on the fretboard all the way up to and including the 12th fret, and then the kill inlay there at the very top of the fretboard. 3-way switch, 2 volumes, 2 tones. Pretty straightforward. You know, the custom guitar, the custom Dean that we looked at, if you look back there at those controls, he had the placement, he only has 2 volume controls on the custom Dean Z, and those controls are in the same spot, the 2 volumes. Usually on a guitar with 2 controls, you would have one here and one there, and he wanted them where he was used to them. So that's why that control setup is the way it is. Just omit the tone controls and bickety bang. It does have the LED inlays, as we saw. If we flip it over, we can see this cavity access here is for, I think it's the controller board for the LEDs, because the LEDs were added to this guitar after it was built. And you have, if you do that, you have to have this access panel right there to fish things through from the fretboard. I can't even imagine the difficulty involved in that. We have two 9-volt battery holders down there. This one powers the pickups. This one powers the LEDs. They're separate. Obviously, if your LEDs suddenly lose power, you don't want the guitar to lose power. So they actually have separate power systems for those two things. Mahogany neck. Beautiful piece of mahogany. Just gorgeous. Basically unfinished neck that's just gotten glossy with the years and the usage. Grover tuners. And yeah, nice battleship Mercedes kind of a gray. With the black binding. Just makes for a really smart looking guitar in my opinion. I really like these Cadillacs a lot. The folks over at Dean do a fine job. If you're in the market for a custom-made, American-made guitar, you owe it to yourself to check out Dean. It's not, people always think about the big builders and the big makers and maybe a few of the smaller ones too. But we've got a very fine USA Custom shop right here in Tampa Bay cranking out very nice guitars for Rob and others, not just Rob. They do a lot of fine work. So go check out Dean USA if you're in the market for a custom guitar. It's good stuff. Really, really good stuff. Very, very high quality. And this guitar, of course, is no exception. Rob's been an endorser with them for a while, and they always do good work for him. So anyways, like I said, this is 14 through 50. Did I say 56 earlier? I think it's 58. Slight pause. I want to get this right for you guys. It is actually 14 through 64. I stand corrected. The gauges are 14 from the top, 14, 18, 28, 38, 49, 64 on the bottom. Very manly. And like I said, that's the bottom 6 strings of one of the heavier D'Addario 7-string sets. And Rob's G-sharp tuning, this guitar again is in G-sharp. His G-sharp tuning runs G-sharp on the lowest string, C-sharp, F-sharp, B, E, and G-sharp. Again, as mentioned earlier, Rob prefers this string here tuned a half step higher than what would be normal for the intervals on a 6-string guitar. That allows him to do different things. It allows him to play chords up higher that are the same shape as chords lower down this way. You can use those same root fifth structures without having to adjust for that that time shift, if you will, that little warping of what's normally a B string for us mere mortals that use standard tuning. So, yeah, that's what he's using. 14 through 64 is the string gauges. Sorry if I misspoke earlier. Again, D'Addario NYXL, 14 on the top, 64 on the bottom, in the G-sharp Barrett tuning, as I call it, on all the invoices that I make out for stuff that I do for Rob. That's it, really. Rob Barrett's Dean USA Custom Cadillac in the gray with black binding. That's about all I know for this one. If you have any questions about anything we do here at Granville Guitars, seek us out on the web. We're at www.granvilleguitars.com. We're also on Instagram, where we now have 1,500 followers. Thank you very much for tuning in over there. Appreciate that. And I'm proud to say I did not pay for one of those followers. Those are all organic followers, and I appreciate all of you over there. And we're also on Facebook as well. So if you need anything, reach out. Happy to answer back. Until we speak again, be good to one another.